Yes, thank you. Hello, everyone. My name is Alejandro Rojas. I am a software engineer on Comcast, and I have been part of the development of this data mesh project. Today, I will be going over the data mesh, what data mesh means at Comcast, the technical challenge we faced, the solution, and the status of our current data mesh. So let's get into it. First, what does data mesh mean for Comcast? The definition of this could be described as a collection of data platform components providing interoperable services while enabling a data product-oriented experience, and also employing federal governance. We are trying to create an ecosystem of data products here at Comcast. Now, what are data products? Data product are simply views created on top of tables. So state of the mesh. Our goal is to create a data mesh ecosystem where users can self-service, discover data, and request data. A place where users can see and request metadata all through an access control manager portal. We want users to be able to access data products and view metadata and can create, read, write data products through different platforms. We want to also use different open source tools for this data mesh ecosystem. So here in the PowerPoint presentation, platforms have been extended and strategically aligned, which enables self-service discovery of data products via an internal self-service portal, metadata collected via Purview or Apache Atlas with federated access policies enforced by Pricera. Access requests enabled via an access control manager, data products consumable via a mesh metastore, which different platforms connect to, and a domain-oriented data product experience. Now, the technical challenge. How do we achieve this? How do we how are we able to access and query data products from different platforms using the Hive metastore? This is a big question here. So, what can we use to help us create and access data products while having access to different storages like S3, Glue, and Minio Warehouse, and also be able to access it to different open source or commercial platforms like Trino, Starburst, Databricks, or Spark. Keep in mind, we want to do this while using open source tools to start our foundation of our data mesh. The solution. So pretty much after we're looking at different use cases for a Hive metastore, we decided to use the Hive CLI to create views or these data products. Now, why do we decide to use a Hive CLI? So the Hive format is actually compatible and you can read it through these platforms here. So you can actually read a Hive format in Trino, Databricks, or Sparks. Creating this data product in a Hive CLI allowed us to be able to access it from all these different platforms, and also the Hive CLI could connect to different storages. We were able to connect them to our Amazon Glue and Amazon S3 bucket, and also we were able to connect in our data mesh where we were able to connect to a PostgreSQL where we can save these data products. Now, what we did here in the diagram, this is showing is for Trino, we created a mesh catalog. This mesh catalog does connect to the Hive CLI or Hive metastore, I mean. So the Hive metastore here, we're calling it a data mesh metastore. So this mesh catalog connects to the data mesh metastore, while the mesh metastore connects to the PostgreSQL. Now, in this PostgreSQL, what we have is we have all of our data products that we created from the Hive CLI saved in there. So this allows us to access it from these platforms here. This is something it was kind of challenging, just trying to be able to get Hive CLI to read from our AWS accounts and read from our current tables, and also not just that, but be able to create data products on top of it. Now, after solving the technical challenge, we were able to start mapping our data mesh ecosystem. We created a data mesh ecosystem that integrates with our current query fabric platform and storages. We added data governance using Pricera. we found a way to collect the metadata through Purview or Apache Atlas and make it accessible by users that can access it through or request access through a Comcast portal. We wanted to make sure that we were able to use this open source and integrate it to our commercial platforms we are using. You can see some of the open source tools we used here on this diagram here, and then some of the current commercial platforms we are using. So after solving these technical problems, what did we do next? We were able to create data discovery, which users can search for data across the big data ecosystem, grant access. We were able to get customers to request access to the data if they needed through Comcast portal. And so the way this access works is we have three different types of access users can request. Some of this access pretty much when a user submits or wants to get granted access through our portal, they go in there, they request for the data product, which it goes through data stewardship or data owner. Once that data owner approves it, every user gets general access. That's one column there. But we also have sensitive access. In order to get access to that sensitive access, they will also need to go back to our portal and approve request access by the data stewardship or data product owner. If they approve it, they will get access to the sensitive column. And then we also have a third, which is highly sensitive. They will follow the same request. They will have to go in there, follow the get submit a request for this highly sensitive, and as long as the data product approves it, you'll be able to get access to all of the tables or columns in the data product. All this is controlled by Pricera, so that is something we implemented within data mesh. And then data usage, which once they get access to the data, they can use they can use it through Query Fabric, or use it through Databricks. So fine-grained access. So the way our Comcast part works is it is automated. So once we're able to read or reload a data product, you would be able to see that in our Comcast portal. So if a user wants to go in there and finds a certain data product or is looking through a data product to get access to, they would just have to request it, which is everything's automated. Once they get once they request access, is the data ownership or stewardship is going to get a notification saying this user needs access, and then they will there and I would be able to approve it from there. So in the next couple of slides, I'm going to show you how this looks like if someone wants to run a query, and also the column access level and how the masking works for the different types of access that users can get. So here, say a user runs a query. So before all this, the user will have to get access to the data product. All this is pretty much data products that are saved in a Postgres SQL that is managed by the mesh metastore. So once the user gets approved by the data stewardship or data product owner to get access to this data product, the first thing they would get is general access. So in the first top table, you will see that they just have general access. The column sensitive and the column highly sensitive, they're all masked. Now, say they want to get access to sensitive column, they would just have to go to our Comcast portal, request access. Once they get approved, they'll be able to see the sensitive column, while the highly sensitive column is still going to be masked. Now, let's say they want to get highly sensitive access. They will have to go to the Comcast portal, again, submit a request for it. Once that gets approved, they're going to be able to get access to all the columns. So this is all powered by using Pricera. We really wanted to focus on security on our data mesh ecosystem. So this is something exciting that we were able to achieve here. Now, benefits of data mesh. with using open source tools, we were able to set the foundation of our data mesh and help us solve technical challenge, which we saw increase of benefits to our users. Data mesh benefits improved that we saw were improved customer experience, speed to market, interoperability, reduce data movement, reduce operational cost, data stability, and of course, data governance and security. All these benefits were achieved by using open source tools, which allowed us to integrate to our current platform in a data mesh strategy. That concludes a brief presentation on data mesh here at Comcast. I just want to thank you all. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. I will be answering some of the questions here in the chat. With that being said, thanks everyone. Have a nice day. Happy Trino Fest.